Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and it says, me, 27 female, heartbroken after my 26 male boyfriend of 6 years backs out of a planned proposal. My boyfriend and I have been together 6 years as of this August. We live together now for close to 2 years as well. We have had many conversations about marriage, babies, and our future together. This past winter, we had a more serious and strategic conversation about our future than we've had in the past. We decided that we both wanted to get married in late January of 2019. My boyfriend asked me to send him links to rings I was interested in for the engagement. I sent him links by late January of 2018. I of course wasn't expecting a proposal within a few weeks of our conversation. However, I did assume that a proposal would happen within the first 3 months of the year, considering we would need at least 8 months to plan a proper wedding. Fast forward to March 2018, and we have a vacation planned for the last week of March / the first week of April. This trip was very representative of our relationship, as it was mainly hiking and outdoors themed. Maybe I was naive, but I was almost certain he was going to propose at some point during our trip. My friends and family were all expecting a proposal as well. Despite the fact that we had not talked to many people about our plans for marriage, my boyfriend was seemingly the only person that did not notice what a great opportunity our trip was for an engagement. I came home from the trip disappointed. I absolutely understand that he's not expected to read my mind and know that I was expecting a proposal. What hurt is that he seemed like the only person that did not know me well enough to know how important that this trip was and how meaningful a proposal would have been. I started to think he wasn't being honest with me about his intentions to get married. For the next week of our trip, we had many thoughtful discussions about what to do. He made it very clear to me that he still wanted to get married this year and that the past few months had gone by so fast he didn't think about planning a proposal in time for our trip. Fast forward to this past weekend, April 20th. He tells me that he has an appointment on Saturday but won't tell me what it's for. I start to assume he is up to something regarding a proposal. Sunday night, he asks me about my rings again and asks me which one I really prefer. At this point, I'm very certain he's looking to buy a ring within the next week. Monday night after work, he has another mysterious appointment. As you might guess, I'm now dead certain a proposal is happening very soon. Come Tuesday night, he's acting funny. He seems sad, distant, and distracted before bed. I ask him what's bothering him, and he finally admits that he's feeling a lot of pressure to propose. He tells me that he was on the phone that morning about to finalize his purchase of a ring, but he gets a bad feeling and backs out. He tells me that he feels like he needs more time but doesn't say how much time he needs. I'm completely floored. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. Hearing that was the last thing I expected to hear from him last week. I feel like he had lied to me this entire year about his seriousness over marriage. I feel like he betrayed my trust and that we are no longer a team. I feel like he's broken my heart from having second thoughts about proposing. At this point in the year, it's almost too late to start planning a wedding for January. So essentially our plans have unraveled completely. I feel lost. I don't know whether or not this is a deal breaker for me. Despite my boyfriend wavering on the proposal, he still strongly claims that he wants to spend his life with me and doesn't want to lose me over this. I'm not sure if this is something I can move past, but I also can't imagine not being with him. Despite being hurt so badly, breaking up isn't something that my brain has even truly considered. I'd really love to hear some advice and opinions on this. I haven't talked to many of my friends about this and I've been really trying to work through it with my boyfriend alone. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. A commenter asks AP, did he elaborate on the bad feeling he got? What did he mean by that? OP says the bad feeling he got was basically being unsure if we had enough discussions based around how we plan to spend our lives together. Someone else asks, I don't think he's being honest with you. After 6 years, he doesn't think you've had enough discussions. I think he's having second thoughts and doesn't know if he wants to marry you at all. And OP responds saying, "That's exactly what I thought when he said that too." Yeah, after 6 years of being together, conversations about marriage, living together for a couple of years, and then coming up with the not having enough discussions as the excuse, I can understand why OP's feeling like they're feeling. Like, what more is there to discuss on this? It just kind of felt like someone who's reaching for any reason that pops into their head and can't articulate the real reason. I think the worst part is now you're going to question it. Even if he does propose suddenly, you're still going to be questioning, oh, is he going to back out further down the line now? And look, I get marriage is an absolutely huge thing for many people, and I'm just left with the question afterwards. I wonder what the real reason is. But Feline Byline says, don't get sidetracked with discussions about ring shopping, wedding planning, an elaborate proposal, or etc. It would still be a real proposal without a dramatic production or the perfect setting, or even without a ring. You could still have a happy marriage if the wedding is planned last minute, or if you elope. Talk to him about your relationship, his timeline for marriage and his concerns. Discuss your similarities and differences, your long-term goals and timelines for things like having kids, or not, and buying a home. Maybe go to a few sessions of counseling together. Giltro says, I'm honestly surprised about so many of the comments talking about how much pressure and stress it is to be expected to propose. But it sounds like this isn't about the proposal, but getting married itself. You're in your late 20s and have been together for 6 years. What is he waiting for? What will he learn about you next year that he doesn't know now? Or consider if marriage is something you need. If it is, you're going to have a tough choice to make. Commenter says, I get stressed just reading this. Proposals don't have to be totally spontaneous or unplanned, but this seems like a lot of pressure to produce something which should feel exciting. I can't imagine having both families, friends, and my significant other all expecting a proposal on a timeline. And I'm female if that means anything. I do think it's somewhat worrisome that he got a bad feeling, but my guess is all the pressure has a lot to do with it. Do what you need to do, but I'd consider nixing all plans for an engagement and wedding. At least time-constrained plans. Basically telling your partner you love him, you want to get married, but there's no need for a timeline. Otherwise, every trip, date, or special moment is going to carry an expectation for him, and he knows it. And there was many comments talking about how they felt they was pressured to propose at a particular time by friends, their family, their partners, and how they felt in them particular moments, especially when they was going away and, you know, they was going on a trip together, and it always felt like there was some sort of expectation in the background eating away at them, and it messed with their mind at the same time. Whilst people kept circling back to, 6 years. What's new that he's going to learn about you? But 3 months later, OP came in with their update and says, 3 months later, we've decided to end our relationship. We officially broke up a few weeks ago, and he moved his furniture out of our apartment this week. I received incredibly varied advice from my original post. I took all of it into consideration and let him read the post as well. We tried our very best over the last few months to move past this, but we were not able to. Breaking up seemed like the only option left. To all you that told me he wanted to be with me but didn't want to get married, you were right. I didn't want to believe it, but after months of circular conversations, it came back every time. He just didn't want to get married. He didn't feel like he was ready, and he didn't know when he would be. Basically, I wanted to post an update on this thread because I needed to get it off my chest. I always figured that maybe some of you were in similar situations and you were hoping to eventually hear the outcome. Thank you to everyone who had originally commented on my post. You definitely gave me a lot to think about. And there was a mix of comments after that one. A lot of people just saying, it's better that they break up now and get married and then he grows to resent her. Other people expecting him to find another partner and get married quickly. Seen that before on Reddit, haven't we? Some people asking why she didn't propose to him. Most others saying, he messed up initially by dragging this on for so long, but he deserves some credit for listening to his gut and having the courage to say he was unsure about proposing. But what do you guys make of this situation? What do you think of the ending? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from GothGirl22, who says, am I the arsehole here for texting the woman my 26 male husband is cheating on me with, but I hope she is proud of herself for being a homewrecker and that I have all their messages. Okay, so for some background, I, 24 female, am 8 months pregnant with my husband's 26 male baby, and we're over the moon, or so I thought. I started to get a weird feeling about a friend on his Snapchat that he constantly texts and completely ignores me, so that I know you're never supposed to go through your husband's phone, but I couldn't sleep, and even though I fought the urge to go through their messages, I ended up doing it anyways. Well, needless to say, I found them exchanging nudes and messages about how much they love each other, and when I asked him to his face if there was something going on between them, and I told him to just tell me the truth, he lied to my face and tried to turn the situation back on me, saying I'm always trying to cause fights. He also told me that our son is the only reason our marriage isn't over. But after I found the messages, I wanted to have undeniable proof, so I took pictures on my phone of their messages, and then I found her on Facebook and texted her saying, my husband is a liar, and I hope you're proud of yourself for being a homewrecker, and I have y'all's messages. She hasn't responded yet, considering it is 4 AM at the time I'm writing this, so am I the arsehole for texting her that my husband is a liar and she is a homewrecker? I will post updates as soon as I can. Someone asks OP, does the woman know OP exists? And OP says, so as far as I know, she does know I exist because he had her on Facebook and his Facebook says he is married to me, so I'm mad at both parties, not just her. Commenter says, don't waste your energy on her. Leave your husband and blame him for what he did. It's a mess, but you'll be better without that man. Another commenter says, make sure you get a good lawyer. Divorce him and get child support and alimony. Make him too broke to pursue a relationship with her. Commenter 3 says, OP, your husband is the one who decided to wreck his home. He's the home wrecker. Now, of course, absolutely you're not the arsehole for texting her. You're emotional, up at 4 AM thinking this over. Like I just said, the emotions take over, and ultimately they're the ones that's wronged you here, not the other way around. But like the comments are kind of hinting at, is it really going to fix anything for you? It's your husband that you need to deal with here. He's going to be the ultimate issue for you here. I mean, you need to get all your ducks in a row, get all that evidence, all that you've got, screenshotting everything, talking to your lawyer, just getting your ducks in a row here. I always think about like the affair partner in this, assuming that she does know that he's married and she's seen the Facebook and she hasn't heard some bullshit excuse from him. I mean, what is she thinking? The only thing I can think in her mind is that I'm special and he'd never do this to me because he's cheating currently on his wife. The dude's comfortable betraying someone he promised to love forever while she's currently pregnant with his baby. What makes you think your relationship with him offers some magical protection? I mean, it just feels like you're just setting yourself up for a messy future. But OP does come in with an update and says, okay, so thanks for everyone's feedback on my first post about this. And to answer some questions. Yes, she knew about me and that we're expecting our son in a month and she still continued on with him. Yes, I confronted him about it as well with the evidence. He tried to deny it at first. He then broke down and told me it's because I don't give him enough attention. Ugh, God. A little context. I work a full-time job while he works whenever it isn't raining because he does lawn care. I did tell his family about what he did, and yes, I plan on leaving him. I just have to get the money to be able to afford the divorce first. Thank you again on all the feedback from my original post. The comment says, girly, you don't need to give context as to why your husband cheated. He cheated because he's an arsehole. Not because you work too much. Not because you were tired of looking after his dusty ass. Dusty ass. Not because you were carrying his baby. He cheated because he's a cheater and you don't deserve that, full stop. Another commenter says, you leave him first and divorce him when you can. You can move as far away as you want whilst you're pregnant, but once the baby is here, he can stop you moving. So think carefully about where you want to live. Near family, near friends, etc. and then move whilst pregnant. He can't physically or legally stop you. Commenter says, if you leave before the baby is born, the residency of your child will be where they are born. If that's 5 states away from your current husband, too bad for him. Another commenter says, please consider getting a different birthing partner and giving someone else your medical power of attorney. You do not want this man being your advocate in your most vulnerable time. And loads of good advice on that post as well about lawyers and protecting herself at this particular moment. But there was no further update on that one as yet. So now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's have another story. The next story is from a throwaway account and says, my boyfriend, 24 male, planned a road trip with me, 24 female, and his 3 friends. I have been uninvited. Now, just looking at this, according to the date of this post, it looked like around the time of lockdowns and various stuff like that. So just keep that in mind as we're reading this post. It says, for starters, my boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. Our anniversary was in April, and for it, we had planned to do a road trip. Obviously, that couldn't happen. Last month, he had brought up the idea of a road trip with me, his friends, 22 female and 24 male, and his friend's girlfriend, 24 female. This would be happening next year. I thought this was a good idea, as I am friends with his male friend and his girlfriend, but not necessarily his female friend. To tell you the truth, I've always been quite wary of their relationship. Previous boyfriend cheated on me, and I've got some insecurities I need to sort out. I hadn't heard more about it since the trip was brought up in the first place, so I asked my boyfriend if it would still be going ahead. He said they decided it would be a no girlfriends allowed trip. I was fine with that. Me and him could always go ourselves another time, and I know friends need time to hang out without their partners. Nothing more was said about it until today, when I happened to glance at his screen and saw that they had made a group chat and were talking about it. I also saw his friend's girlfriend was messaging in it. I asked him why she was in it if she's not going. He got defensive and instantly turned his screen away from me. I asked him why he did that, and he said it's a private conversation. I then asked if I could look through the messages. I found out that she is still invited and it's just me who's been uninvited. I would understand if she was one of his friends, but she's actually not. In fact, I haven't heard him say one nice word about her. I guess my boyfriend just doesn't want me there, but is fine with someone he dislikes. I feel so left out, as I was made to believe I was part of this friendship group, but none of them have even asked me why I'm not going. I don't know if I've misconstrued the situation and I've made a big deal out of nothing, but I'm just incredibly hurt by this, as it's not exactly fair she gets to go when I can't. I'm planning on talking to him about it tomorrow, but I just want to get advice. It's one of those ones where it's, for me anyway, it might be totally wrong, but it just felt to me that he's been downplaying her to you, talking shit about her, saying he dislikes her, etc., just to keep you off the trail that he actually does like her. He wants to spend some time with her and doesn't want you around while he's doing so. Absolute sketchy behavior that's got the old spider senses tingling. But Pokey says your boyfriend is not being a stand-up guy here, and that should concern you. If a bunch of my buddies said they didn't want my wife along on a trip but were taking theirs, I'd tell them to have a good time and send a postcard. Dude should always stick up for his partner. Always. Opie says, yup. If this was the other way around, I'd be adamant my boyfriend got to go. Someone asks, has Opie met the friends or the other girl? Opie says, we're not exactly friends, but I've been out with them before. Not his female friend. His friend's girlfriend doesn't know the female friend either. But both guys, my boyfriend and his friend, are friends with her. Deleted user says, you haven't even met this other girl. She's probably the one who doesn't want you along. Might be inappropriate talk and actions. Lizzie says your boyfriend is probably dating the girlfriend or wants to be. So, OP at some point did come in with their update and says, I really hesitated in posting an update, but I've received many messages inquiring about it. Thank you to everyone who gave advice. I confronted my boyfriend the day after posting this. Turns out he didn't want to tell me that his friend's girlfriend despises me. I was shocked at this, as when we've been around her, she's been nothing but nice to me. He showed me a private message she had sent him, and she had demanded I didn't go on the trip. She also told him I was cheating on him. I was really shocked, so I messaged her and said that she was uncomfortable with her boyfriend being around me, as I was really flirty around him the last time we hung out. That's absolutely not true. If I was being flirty, don't you think my boyfriend would have saw that? Plus, I have enough respect for my boyfriend that I absolutely would not do that ever. My boyfriend told me stories in the past about how his friend's girlfriend is very controlling and paranoid about other girls and won't even let him have female friends. I just didn't think she'd act that way with me. The only thing I can think of is when we last hung out, I accidentally touched his leg as we're at a cramped booth together. So she's definitely reaching there. Also, during that night, she had made a huge deal about him messaging another girl, so much so we had to leave early as she demanded to go home. My boyfriend kept what she had sent him to himself as he didn't want to cause any more rifts. He only has 2 friends. He made the excuse up as to not hurt my feelings. I get it, I do, but I'm an adult and can handle someone disliking me. He thought he was sparing my feelings, but he thought I would be more hurt by someone I barely know disliking me than from being essentially uninvited from our anniversary trip is beyond me. It feels as if he took her side in it. I know he hates confrontation and that's fine for him, but I want a boyfriend who can stand up for me. He doesn't even know her, for God's sake. I'm assuming he didn't want to lose his friend. His girlfriend is very manipulative. To tell you the truth, I also thought he was planning on hooking up with his female friend. With 2 guys and 2 girls going, how could I not think that? I'm not breaking up with him. We talked about it and he's not going on the trip. He told his male friend the situation and he's likely going to break up with his girlfriend as this isn't the first time she's done this. If anything's unclear, I apologize. It's a whole shit show. Commenter replies saying, what the fuck? He uninvited you because his friend's girlfriend doesn't like you. He didn't even stick up for you. What a spineless SOB. He let her trash talk you. He was more considerate of her feelings over yours and took her side. This is not okay. Ugh, I'm so mad for you. It doesn't matter if she doesn't like you. However, your boyfriend should not uninvite his own girlfriend just because his friend's girlfriend doesn't like you. He should have backed out of the trip the moment his friends didn't want you there. Instead, he uninvited you, lied and covered it up for her. He was planning to go without you. He's not a good boyfriend. What kind of boyfriend prioritizes his friend's girlfriend over his own? This says a lot about him. I'd break up with my boyfriend if I was in your position. Opie says, this is the first time anything like this has happened. We've had a good relationship up to this point. I'm giving him another chance. If he does something else, then I'm obviously leaving. Commenter says to OP, so let me get this straight. It was easier to essentially lie to you, saying it's just him and his friends. Then when you saw the group chat, he continued to keep you in the dark, leading you to believe he may potentially cheat on you. And then, when you finally confronted him, he told you that his friend's girlfriend was chatting shit about you and he did nothing to stand up for you. Instead, he decided to make you look like an idiot and disinvite you, bending over backwards for someone else's girlfriend. And you're okay with that? Opie says, this comment made me break up with him. Then Opie adds the final update, which is a small one, but it says, I broke up with him. I've been reading all the comments on both posts and came to the realization that I'm unhappy, and that's likely not going to change unless I do something about it. And then OP replied to another comment talking about how that commenter helped her make that decision, and says, you hit the nail on the head there. Obviously that one single comment didn't change my viewpoint so drastically, but rather made me see the whole situation in a different light. I realized that I simply couldn't move on from this. Yeah, this subreddit is notorious for telling people to break up, but what else was I supposed to do? He broke my trust, and I don't want to always feel second best to his friends. I have respect for myself. I'm not going to be in a relationship where I'm unhappy. My palm was on my forehead at the end of this. I was just like, what are you doing, mate? Friend's girlfriend is dictating who goes on the trip, spread lies about cheating, and he's just like, yeah, okay, I'll uninvite her. I'll invite my girlfriend who I've been with for 4 years from our what was said as their anniversary trip. Madness. Yeah, and we know Reddit does go a lot to the breaking up. I've got to say I'm guilty of it myself if you go through these stories. But I am glad that the comment made OP do a 180 on that after, just putting things into perspective. You don't deserve to be treated that way. After 4 years together, he's not going to back you up in a situation like that and rather disinvite you from your, again, anniversary trip. Things ain't going to improve anytime soon. So yeah, find someone that will back you up in situations like this, because holy moly. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.